Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Oh yeah, we're painting again, and I've got the big old palette out again and the big brushes and the knives, and we're gonna paint a mountain. This is a good one. I like this one. So let's watch it. So I'm using the 2-inch brush. I've covered the entire canvas with some liquid white, a very small amount as always a small amount. Now I'm tapping into some Prussian blue and a tiny bit, look, tiny bit of black, tiny bit, just to take the sting out of the blue. I mean, Prussian blue is quite nice anyway. I really like Prussian blue actually. One of my favourite blues at the moment. And using little crisscross strokes, look, little crisscross. Zooming through. It's amazing how fast you get when you get used to this 2-inch brush. You can throw in a sky in no time. No time at all. So start at the top and work down. Start at the top and work down, and then I didn't really know what I was going to do in this picture. If you can see in the background, there's a a digital version of this picture. I did an idea on and I printed it out and I used that as my idea, and I don't do it exact, I just have it there as if I don't know what I'm doing, I'll try and do that. It's pretty simple really. It's the framework of the painting. But I don't like to restrict myself, because things happen when you're painting, especially in this technique, and you come up with better ideas, so I like to go with the better idea if there is one. So I just dried the brush and then crisscross strokes over that, and it blends with the liquid white. That's how you get that smooth finish. But don't use too much. Make sure you only use a little bit. And that blue is there just in case. I mean, it cleans the brush a little bit, but also just in case I want to do water, I've got some blue there. So I thought to myself, I want to do some mountains, lots of mountains. I want them to be rocky. So that's why I've designed this picture. So we've got some yellow ochre and some red. I'm just mixing that up with a knife. Yellow and red, making that sort of a orange colour. Bit of white in there, just mixing it up with a knife. Makes almost a flesh tone actually. Just pulling that out flat, a bit more white. So I knew I wanted the sky to have warm clouds, because I've been seeing a lot of skies where the clouds are red and orange, and I was like, well, I need to do that in a picture. I really wanted to do that. So I thought, why not? An interesting side-on view. There we go. Getting a 1-inch brush and just pulling into the paint. Get quite a lot of paint on your bristles, and then using tiny little circles, just put in wherever you want the clouds to live. Wherever they are, you put them in. And I tend to try and think about skies I've seen, or maybe skies that I've been outside painting, or skies I've seen on TV. I'm always trying to work things out for the next picture. So when you do this, you try to keep things moving though. Just pull in quite a lot of paint on the bristles. Get things moving. Because if you stay in one place, you're just going to churn the paint up. So So keep it moving and you'll get all kinds of things, all kinds of actions. If you tap, tappy tap tap, you can get more of a straighter cloud. However you want it to be. You could do layers and layers of clouds. I'm going to do that in one of the episodes, but this one, it's more about a mountain in this one. It's more about a great big mountain. I'm getting a bit more red on my brush. So I thought it would be good to have a bit there. And then using the big 2-inch brush, just blending over that. Now if you find things, use the corner of the brush if you get a hair and just whip it out. If you find that your paint isn't going on top of each other like this, if you find it's just all blending together, then your paint, well, one or two things usually have happened. The first thing is your paint's probably traditional oily paint and it's not quite dry enough for this technique. The second thing is you could have put too much liquid white on, and if you do that then it makes all your paint a little bit wet as well, and then it'll all mush together. Because the white is so thick, look at that, it's really thick. There's a lot of paint on there, so it doesn't all blend together because of that. That's how it works. So I've gone into a bit more brighter colour, a bit more red and white, looking for those areas I want to bring out a bit more. I enjoy doing this. It's great when you blend it and you see all the different things happening, and then you can come back and go, alright, I can do a bit more, make it a little bit different, a bit better, or a bit worse. I've done a few pictures like that where I think, oh, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. Before you know it, I've ruined it. But I keep trying to rein myself in because I've got the tendency to overdo a picture. In fact, when my paintings were on display, this bloke came up to me, an artist, and he says, oh, you've overworked that one. I was like, oh, thanks very much. But when you do get like little comments like that, don't take them to heart. Don't just think about, okay, what does he mean? What can I do better to prevent someone saying that? Because I consider myself a continuous beginner, and I'll continually just try and get better. Try and learn from other artists, and that's kind of my process of learning now. I just consider myself a beginner and whatever I do, and that's it. And I think when you have an open mind to information in that way, you do learn a lot more. If you think you know it all, then your learning can stop, and that's not beneficial to you. You've got to think about the benefits for yourself, and that is always learning. So using a landscape knife, Van Dyke brown, some blue. Blue and brown. I'm definitely mixing the colour. There we go. Blue and brown and white, making a paler mountain colour. Because this is for a distant mountain. A distant mountain. So you just scrape that off, put it on, and then scrape it off. And that way you only have a little bit of paint on, so when you pull it down, it can mix with what's underneath and it goes a little bit lighter. There we go. Even some of that red has gone in it, which is good. Pulling it down. Just making that soft, quiet. It's a long way away. We don't want that to stand out too much. That easy, you've got a real distant mountain. So I actually painted this after a long day. It's another day that I'm doing the comments for it, because I would just felt really frustrated about the day that I had, really annoyed, and just frustrated and annoyed. So I got the paints out and I did an almighty painting. So cut across, little roll of paint, and then it made me feel better, because art, as they say, art is a therapy, and I enjoy painting. It's what I want to do all the time. I really enjoy it, but we've got to have day jobs for a while we develop our own painting skill. So for now I'll do it as a hobby until my paintings become worth millions. So I'm blocking this in. I'm putting quite a lot of dark on here. Thinking dark, 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 blocking it in. And I'm thinking rugged, big mountain. This is a mountain I've made up, actually. I just make this up. And the more you do it, the more you start developing landscapes in your mind. I enjoy putting on all the thick paint, really dark paint, and there isn't that much liquid white down there. I purposely didn't put that much down there because I didn't want it to melt my colour, milky it up. I wanted it to stay fairly dark. So it's a little trick that I was told about, actually, that you can put, if you put a bit less liquid white where your mountain is, if you wanted it dark, that is, then you can do that. And this is proof. So yeah, I'm just blocking this in. You could even have done this with black gesso, thinking about it. You could have painted in the mountain and then done the sky, and then you could probably use a bit less paint. I did it this way. One thing you learn when you're oil painting, there's so many different ways you can do something. There's not one way. Everyone has different ways, different techniques. And you can learn from other people's techniques. That's what I do. I like to see what other people are doing, and then I also like to just do my own thing. And that's alright. As long as you're happy when you're painting, then it's okay. Because I'm always happy when I'm doing a painting. My inner smile comes out because I'm doing a painting. Everything that went wrong during that day doesn't matter anymore. So I just pull that colour out. So it does blend a little bit with the liquid white, because I haven't put that much on. It doesn't matter. I'm sort of thinking about the different areas of the mountain as I do this. Thinking about what's the light side's going to be on the right. I already worked that out. I just wanted to smooth things a little bit and think about it, buying myself a little bit of time. Because when you're painting, don't feel like you need to rush. You don't need to rush. Take your time. Think things through. And go with ideas that you create while you're painting. Go with them as well. Don't be too rigid. And you can do all your rigid painting when you do commissions. But when you're having fun painting, and you're painting for you, not for someone else, then you just do what you like. Have a bit of freedom. That's what I like to do anyway. So when I was blending the base, you noticed I put a little bit of the red in there, a little bit of colour, because that's what I used for the clouds, and that creates a bit of unity to mix that in there. Not much of that shows through, but unifying the colours. Some painters, just pulling out some Van Dyke brown there and bright red. Yeah, what I was going to say is some painters have a very limited palette, and if you didn't know this, because not some of you are beginners and you might not know this, but they use a limited palette because that makes their paintings unified, because they're not using tons and tons of different colours. And a lot of the times you probably don't need to. So it's light pressure, remember, light pressure. Let that paint break. Let it break. Using the knife between the finger and thumb, and light pressure, just pulling it out, letting the paint just fall off the knife. It's good fun using the knife, actually. You really get, when you really get used to it and you start making things happen, you start enjoying it, and you think, wow, why have I been using a brush for so long when the knife's so much fun? Don't forget, even master painters use the knife. If you've heard of Turner, an English painter, one of the greatest ever watercolour painters, also a phenomenal oil painter as well. He liked using a knife for his seascapes and landscapes. It's good to use. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Turner, and especially after me and Clive went to the museum and saw a lot of his paintings. Real phenomenal work. So yeah, keep sitting back, having a look at my painting. Remember to sit back and have a look. Always sitting back, having a look. Sometimes I like to pause on a picture and go have a cup of coffee, come back, and then have another look. Have another look and go, yeah, I see what I need to do now. I didn't realise that while I was painting it, but we go back with fresh eyes, and you notice things that you didn't notice before. Don't forget, in the museums, some paintings that are in there, the artist has worked on them for years and years. There was one portrait in there that it took 12 years to finish. It's a lot of cups of coffee or cups of tea. So remember, when you're mixing your colour, to try and keep it marbly, like this. Don't over mix it. Cut across, little roll of paint. Don't over mix. You just, because you get all kinds of different colours coming out. If you like that, you get all different lights. If you over mix it, you just get one colour, and it doesn't look quite as good, I don't think. Because you get more effects, more little effects when you undermix. So it's light pressure. Just letting that knife just glide down and let the colours just pull off. Just let it pull off. Thinking about the angles. Pull down the way the mountain flows. No pressure. Now the shadow side, we've got some blue in with the background mountain colour. So that's blue and brown and white. Get a bit more blue in it. There's a bit of black in there as well. And then cut across a little roll of paint and very lightly just pull that out. Very lightly, no pressure. Just like when you're doing the other side, it's light pressure. And like I said, you're just thinking about angles, thinking about the way the mountain comes down. I've gone into a bit of dark there just to add a bit more dark into the shadow side. See how that bit just pulls out now? Just from having that bit of dark and then going into a bit more blue and white and coming back. No pressure. See, as the knife curves, it makes the mountain curve. It's a bit harder to get in those little areas. No pressure though, remember, no pressure. Very light. You'll be surprised how quickly you can get a mountain range going. Like I said, I really enjoy making mountains. It's one of probably the most fun in this technique. Actually, there's quite a lot of things that I do in this technique that's fun. This is one of the most fun, creating huge mountains with a knife. Now I'm thinking about in front of these mountains, maybe there's some other mountains, and I put a little bit of black in with my brown, make it really dark so I can create another layer. Now my original idea, it wasn't going to be like that. It was going to be water below the mountain and then but really dark. But when I was doing this I thought, I'm enjoying these mountains, maybe I can do some more. Why not? It's good practice. Good practice. If you want to do rocky like mountains, then this is a good painting to practice doing. Get yourself used to the knife, used to the feel of the paint. So remember, I'm just building this up, just blocking it in, just dark. And then getting some brown and Van Dyke brown, dark sienna, red, cut across, little roll of paint. Now I'm thinking I don't want this quite as dark, quite as bright as the those mountains. So I keeping things a little darker, because that way these mountains won't stand out as much as the ones behind, and the ones behind I want them to stand out more. Again, no pressure, no pressure. And a little bit of blue in with the colour, just like before. A little bit of blue. pick out these shadow sides. I forgot to turn my phone off. My phone's gone off a couple of times while doing this. Never mind. I've actually just done another painting, so there's another episode coming. So a little bit more light, a bit more pinky whitey, because I wanted to, there we go, look at that, just bring that out more, add some more light on there, wherever you want a bit more light, you can do that. You can go over and over, you could add snow on this mountain if you wanted, you could keep it going. But I felt like it needed a little bit more here and there. No pressure. Yeah, at the moment, every painting I do, I'm thinking of another one. I'm like a painting machine. So getting some more of the blue, more of the blue. And I wanted to clean up some of the areas. Just bringing some of the areas out. That's better. So you just go in between a bit of dark, a bit of light, a bit of dark, a bit of light. You're just working it together, so you get all kinds of different things then. And I thought that would probably be a bit darker there, because of that big rock sticking out. So I wanted to darken it. And then I was thinking, oh, it'd be good to lighten some of those areas as well. Bit of white, bright red, pull it out flat, cut across, little roll of paint. And then I thought, ooh, it'd be nice to really get a light pink hitting there. Maybe the sun's just hitting, sparkling off that rock. See how that sparkles? But I didn't want to do not too much, just enough, just here and there where it hits it and goes sparkle. Now these work really well and it's easy to keep it going. So I thought, I better stop. Otherwise I'll end up having white mountains. So grabbing some blue, some black. Need to start filling in here. I still wasn't sure what to do about this area. So I thought, well, maybe I can do water. But the more I started to think, well, maybe the mountains, I can pull them down into this. So I was sitting back, having a look at what I've got, thinking about what I want to do. Do I want reflected water in there? Do I want it to be really dark? Do I want to bring these mountains down, which is what I thought, that'd be quite good. pull this down a little bit more. And then I can just block it in with dark. Doesn't matter what you use there, you could just slop that in with a brush. I'm just still using the knife, trying to get used to the knife, be friends with the knife. Bit of a highlight colour there, bit of the brown. A lot of this you don't even see, because I make another decision in a minute. So you got to think, well, how high am I? Whereabouts am I? Am I stood on another mountain looking? Is the artist that painted this stood on another mountain and he's looking at this scene and he painted it? So I'm just making a bit more of the pinky colour, a bit more yellow ochre in it. More yellow ochre in this one. Thinking about all the different angles and things. There we go. No pressure though. No pressure. No pressure. And then just looking for anywhere that I think might need a highlight. Like I said, I was unsure of how this picture should go, where I should take it. So I just played with the mountains for a while. Get used to the knife more and more. Until an idea springs in your head. Because theoretically, I could have stopped there and said this is a painting for knife practice, which is what it is really. But I thought, maybe using the 1-inch brush, load it full of paint, I could do some like indications of trees or grass. Just pushing not the corner, the side of the brush. You sort of push up to the side of the brush, and then I'm following the angles of the land. And this could be loads of tree tops maybe. Lots of different layers of trees. And it's quite far, so we can't really tell. Just following the angles. Loading the brush. And creating layers. Creating layers. Now I went and grabbed my liner brush. I thought, maybe I could have some sort of a stream or something going. You see, I get carried away and I start thinking of other things I can do. I was sort of thinking, maybe I could have a stream, maybe there'll be a pool there, or maybe... There we go. And the liner, and some yellow. I think I'm lifting up some areas, but then it doesn't really affect it that much, to be honest. I quickly realised that. See, when you invent paintings, you've got to think about your next step and then just go for it. So I imagined water. Just on the filbert brush, that is. Some blue and white. And imagine the water coming down. Thinking about that dark bank on that one side. And it sort of gets blended away a little bit. And then I thought, maybe there's a waterfall coming down load of rocks there. I just put a little bit of colour in front. Bit of yellow ochre, that is. Just pushing, creating some tree indications. Sort of cleaning the area up a bit. So you've got quite a lot of depth now. Just that little bit of water and now these tree indications. It adds a bit more depth to the painting. And then you got mountains and mountains and mountains. But it's a really nice one to do, and it looks really good actually. I've got it in my room and it looks really good. And I just used the liner brush just to make an indication of water movement there. So the water's flowing down rocks or something. Put in a few indications of water movement. It's down the bottom there, it doesn't really matter. You could just put a big tree there. Or some dark. And I kind of like that there's something there. And then I thought, when I was near this cliff, there were tons and tons of birds all along the side of this cliff, loads of them. So I thought, I might do this in this one. Maybe there would be a load of birds or dragons, who knows. Could be a load of dragons all living in this area of the mountain. So there's a load of indications of possible dragons. Just little M birds. And then put a few out the way. So I tend to aim for those. I decided to improve that area of the mountain. I didn't like it. So I thought I'd just build that up a bit. But yeah, now we've got a load of activity going on up there. That's the end of the painting. So we've got a bit of activity going up here. This is where the photographer or the artist originally thought, whoa, look at that, I'll have to paint that. And he created this. Or was it just me in my room? Oh. It's not as exciting, is it? So we'll pretend it was some art warrior in the hills. So anyway, thanks very much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe it's one that you'd like to have a go at, and if it is, good luck with your painting, and I'll see you at another one. Cheers, bye.